What's up, fellow Marvel Legends collectors? Solid Dave Snake here, continuing my reviews for the Spider-Man Marvel Legends Infinite series Build-A-Figure Rhino Wave. And in this review, we're going to take a look at Superior Venom. And Superior Venom is a unique character in that it is really three characters mashed up together. If you remember 2 series ago, we got the Superior Spider-Man in a wave. And Superior Spider-Man is Dr. Octavius inside of Peter Parker's body. And then when the Venom symbiote gets on Superior Spider-Man, it's kind of like mashing up 3 characters together. You got Peter Parker, Dr. Octavius, and the Venom symbiote. So, very unique character and short-lived in the comic books. And I was excited when I first heard about this action figure getting released, but then when I saw it, I had a lot of problems with it. And if you're a fan of the comic books, you'll probably know what my biggest gripe with this figure is, and that is that he does not necessarily represent the same exact body size as the Superior Venom. In the comic books, he has a massive chest, and they really reuse a lot of the same body mold pieces of the Pizza Spider-Man for this Venom, which really just doesn't work. It's really completely the same body except for the head, hands, and feet. And then, of course, painted completely different. And he has these added tendrils. So, if you know the comic book art, they really should have made a new torso piece for this figure. They could have gotten away with the same legs and arms, but they really needed a massive chest piece. So, alright, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's get this figure up close and get a nice 360-degree look at him before I go into my next gripe with these tendrils. So, these tendrils. First of all, back in the Toy Biz days, they used a lot of bendy wires, and I don't know if Hasbro's ever going to go back to what Toy Biz did with those, but this is an action figure that really could have utilized bendy wires in these tendrils. Would have added a lot of nice features for posability with this action figure. And to make it even worse, instead of just having normal plug-ins on this, every single one is shaped different, as you will see as I take them off. So you can't even rotate these at the back, which really makes no sense. There's no cost cutting here doing this. If anything, it would have cost more to make different inserts. So I do not understand at all why Hasbro did this. It would have been great if they would have all just been the same size plug-ins, the same shape, and then you could have intermixed and matched them and at least rotated them at that point, since they don't add the bendy wires. So that was a huge fail on Hasbro's part. But before we take a look at the figure any closer, I'll give you an individual look at these different tendrils and show you how different they are. You can just see from these two how differently shaped they are. And these are nicely sculpted. They look like the tendrils that come out of his back in the comic books. And they look very sharp, almost like blades at the end of these. So they look good, but they don't function well. So, another huge complaint that really keeps this figure on the bottom of the list. Now, one of the good things about this figure is his head sculpt and paint job, which turned out really, really good. That does look like his head from the comic books. And with the way the webbing is all scattered and not even, that's how he was drawn. That's how it looks in the comic book. So that came out nice. And I even love how he has the white around the eyes, and then just those jet black eyes, which are even darker than the actual costume itself. So that is a shinier black, and that came out nice. Teeth came out great on here too. They looked vicious. Very sharp looking. And even the spider on his chest, and the way that the lines seamlessly go with the articulation, how they painted all throughout there, even when you move those shoulder pieces, you can see the lines continue. And there are a couple little splotchy parts on my figure. It'll probably be different with a lot of them, but you can see a little extra white there, even some black coming through on the spider, but those are minor gripes. And on the back, you can see where this extra piece to hold the tendrils was connected in there. Of course, it is the same torso piece that was used in this, where the Pizza Spider-Man has a hole in there for a flight stand. This just plugged in that hole. So there's not a whole lot of detail on the back side of Superior Venom here. Pretty much just black. But there is some more detail. Painted detail on the wrists. With these red spots where he shoots out the webbing. And I do like how the hands came out. He only has this one set of hands. Of course, the legs are the same sculpt as Pizza Spider-Man, but the feet are totally different and actually really represent the feet of Superior Venom from the comic perfectly. This is how they look. And I believe these are all new foot sculpts in Marvel Legends, so we'll probably be reusing these in other figures, and I'm sure customizers already have a lot of plans for these feet with different characters they can make. So, I mean, there's certain aspects that are good about this figure, but all in all, he's not a great representation of his comic book counterpart. Now, articulation-wise, he is really good, just like the Pizza Spider-Man, because it's the same mold. His head is on a ball joint and hinge, which will rotate all the way around, look really far down, and pretty far back. His shoulders are on a ball joint and hinge, which will go past 90 degrees, back down, rotate all the way around, and then he has those pivot points there at the shoulders. He's got a cut at the bicep, which will rotate all the way around. Double hinged elbows, which will go all the way up. Peg and hinge on the wrist, which will rotate all the way around. Go that far back, that far up. A really great ab crunch. He will lean very far forward and pretty far back as well. He's got that cut at the hips, which will rotate 360 degrees. However, just like with the Pizza Spider-Man, he has that same problem. If you have him posed looking to the side, it looks way off with matching up that body mold. And then at the hips, he will kick that far out, real far up, and that far back. A cut at the upper thigh, which will rotate all the way around. Double jointed knees. And then on the feet, he's got a hinge, which will go this far up, all the way down, and that ankle pivot we all love. So, all in all, not really a must pick up in this wave, unless you're a big Venom fan, or of course if you're wanting to build a figure Rhino, you have to get this figure. But all in all, not a great representation of Superior Venom overall. So I can't give this figure a high recommendation, but if you're a Venom fan, you're probably going to pick him up anyway. So, alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll catch you then.